welcome to Soul Bodyguard Kitchen. We are going to be making one of my staples in the house, a quick and simple homemade meatball. And so of course we put it with our spaghetti sauce. Kids love it. And so I wanted to show you guys this quick and easy recipe. I actually bake my meatballs and then drop it into the actual sauce, but we'll do that later. First, let's talk about the meatballs. Also, peep the new spoons that my sister got me for my birthday. They're so pretty. Very colorful, very vibrant, and still matches with my kitchen, so I love it. The first thing I do doesn't actually pertain to the meat in per se. It actually is with the breadcrumbs. So the breadcrumbs that I use are, you can just buy them at the store. You can make them yourself, but that's a lot of work. So I just buy them at the store, Italian style breadcrumbs, and I put them in a bowl and then I add a liquid to it. This makes what's called a panade, which helps to combine the meat, but also helps to give it a smooth texture. I actually use milk because milk gives it more of a velvety texture, and I like that texture. So I let it sit for a little while so the breadcrumbs can kind of absorb, absorb the actual milk. And so it's been sitting for a little while, so I'm gonna get ready to put everything together. So this recipe is a cheesy meatball. It's gonna have lots of other flavors, but mostly it's going to be about the cheese because that's what I like. So the first thing I have is, this is a mixture of ground pork and ground beef. This is what I like to use on a meatball, and it's kind of what's traditionally used. But you can also obviously use ground turkey. You can use the meatless meat also to make this recipe, whatever works for you. But this is what I'm using, which is traditionally what's used. And the first thing I want to do is I want to add my panade in here and get it mixed up together. The one thing about meatballs that I want to talk about is that while we can use spoons and things like that, it's nothing like getting your hands in there. And this is something kiddies can take a part of too. They love squishing and moving it around. So maybe mixing this in could be something you do with your kids. And I'm going to grab one of mine now so that they can help me mix it together. One of the techniques that I use when actually mixing is to do a little bit of this, pinching it between my fingers so that everything gets kind of incorporated. So the panade is already in there and we just want it to get incorporated. Yes, that's a little tiny helper hand. Next up is the cheesy wheezy. So I have a combination of grated Parmesan cheese as well as a different mixture of different cheeses, Gruyere, Parmesan, and a couple of others, just to kind of give us like this more of a cheesy meatball. Go ahead, dump it in, Lyric. Cheesy wheezy. Beautiful. We got one egg going in. Lord. Lyric and cracking eggs. Let's make sure she didn't get any shells in there. I think she got one. There we go. One egg is in. The next thing that we're adding to it is what I call an ancient Chinese secret. It's not. What I like to do is add Worcestershire sauce, and I mix it with a little bit of steak sauce. It makes sure that that flavor, that steaky-ish flavor, definitely that beefy flavor is throughout. Dump it on in, Lyric. There it is. Good stuff. I also have some fresh basil from my little garden that I'm adding to it to give it more flavor. And now I'm going to add all the dry ingredients. So these dry ingredients are sodobo. There is also parsley, oregano, and I put a little bit of crushed red pepper, just a little bit because it gives it a little bit of spice. Salt, pepper, garlic salt, and that's all going in. Flavor my baby up. Step is optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it just makes for a better formed meatball. Is let it chill for a little bit, right? We've been touching it with our hands, heating it up a little bit, and so we want to make sure that we put it in the refrigerator maybe like 20-30 minutes. Let it chill again and get very cold, so then we can use a scoop and kind of scoop those things, make those meatballs and scoop them out really easy. So it's chilled for about 30 minutes, and now we are forming them into little balls so that we can bake them and mix them with the sauce.